and welcome back to Journey to Ragnarok. It is session 43. The last we left off, the party successfully slew the dragon king Fafnir and were taken through the Bifrost to Alfheimr, where they met with Odin and Tyr and Freyr, Freya, and Frigga.
So that tends fast.
Yeah, who dismissed Odin, took the ring that you were to deliver to him, and decided to test you. We'll just jump right into that. Let me get us to a map. I'll bring us right back here. As you sit.
Hi.
Yeah.
As the bard, I feel that I am contractually obligated to remind you that we have a shout out.
Oh, we do.
We have a shout out.
Oh my god, we do. We have a very loyal viewer whose name I totally didn't forget.
I'm so sorry. I should have said something beforehand while we were waiting so that you could look it up. That's my bad.
Yeah, blame Pepper.
That is absolutely my role, is to be blamed. I'm trying to vamp for you.
Yep.
So
okay, I got it. We do. We have a special little shout out to a very, very loyal viewer. Krugs8472, who has been commenting very frequently on the past couple of sessions. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a loyal viewer to the Journey to Ragnarok.
Thank you!
Yay, Krugs!
Yay! We appreciate you!
You're the best.
In your honor, I'll only kill one of them this session.
Oh!
Look at me!
So kind.
I have a backup character ready.
I do not.
No, it's unlikely any of you will die unless you do really stupid things, which this party's
Give
prone
me
to.
the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, she took the ring and tasked you with a challenge of sorts before willing to give it back over to Odin, as it is a very powerful artifact. She tells you that she's going to put you to the test by challenging you to bring the... she's going to challenge you by making your way to Freyr's palace. You must find entrance to Freyr's palace. And she gives him the ring and tells him to leave with it. And he does so. As he walks off...
So we have to go play hide and seek?
As he walks off, she continues the challenge to the rest of you. The only way to enter the palace, the only way to be admitted inside, is to garner the favor of the 5 houses of the Light Elves. She begins to describe them to you. There is the House of the Leaf, who are an egocentric and loud people. They are few in rivals when it comes to their hunting skills, and they exceed in demonstrations of their oratory and singing skills. Their heraldry is spotted by a golden leaf on a white field. Next, there is the House of the Branch. They are proud, yet malleable, often initiating conversation just for the sake of demonstrating their skill. They tend to spend their days crafting pieces of art to keep their hands occupied and the mind free to build sermons. Their heraldry is a red elm tree branch on a golden field. Next, there is the House of the Trunk. True lovers of the arts, as they see them as vessels to go beyond They're reserved and shy manners. Great scholars who love to dedicate themselves to the nature they are surrounded by. Their symbol is a hazel tree on a white field. Then there's the House of the Staff. Peaceful, but they can occasionally fall prey to excess and wrath. Craftspeople of incredible skill, they are known to have developed a form of magic that allows them to manipulate any wooden material the way they wish. Their heraldry is a green oak staff on a field of black. Then finally, House of the Root. Matriarchal descent, happy, resplendent. They love poetry, drinking, and are used to fighting to stay warm. Their heraldry is a red apple on a silver field. At
What was
that,
that last house?
the House of the Root. Do you need the full description or just the name?
The full description of the root again, I'm sorry.
Matriarchal descent. They are known to be happy and resplendent. They love poetry, drinking, and are used to fighting to stay warm. Their heraldry is a red apple on a silver field. She continues to tell you that there's only one way that this request can be fulfilled. And that is to convince the House of the Root to make peace with the other Alfheim elf houses. She gives you one final piece of information before preparing to leave, which is the main cause of the hostility is that two twins fought. Although one of them is not yet aware of that fact. And as she finishes telling you this information, all of the gods still there turn to leave and walk behind the roots of the tree, leaving you at the base.
Is Frigga still here, or did she turn also?
She would be one of the ones who would have turned. Once the
Okay.
information has been given, they would have all turned to leave and disappear behind the roots.
Queen Frigga, before you go,
Right me.
She would turn.
Sorry.
my dear, most respected mother-in-law, what is in this for us? I'm not quite sure what you can give us, as we have already been tested mightily, and you've given us no reason to help you out at present.
She says that you have been tested by Odin. And Odin has brought you into their realm with a powerful artifact in Midgardian hands that she does not trust. If you do this task, you will win the favor of the rest of the gods, not just Odin.
I don't care at this point what happens to that ring. We got it like we were supposed to, and I cannot imagine that you haven't been watching what we've been doing. And a favor, being in favor with the rest of the gods, I'm not sure what that's given us so far.
Give me a very difficult persuasion.
Of course. Got my plus 12. Whoop.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
That was not good.
Okay. I need to find her sheet. I can. I don't know where it is. I've lost it.
No.
I have Freya's sheet. That's not who's here.
Pi, I've been telling you for 2 weeks that I was going to do this.
Yeah, I know. I just
That
never
hands were going to be thrown.
I never actually jotted down her sheet, so I'm looking through my PDF, and I don't know where it is. She probably has like a plus 30 to her skill check.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But I don't care.
Fuck it. I'm gonna use Freya as the template.
Why
Because
not?
that's the closest sheet I can find.
I think it's probably relatively close, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not to like stereotype gods or anything.
Yeah, not to stereotype the gods. Let me see here.
Okay, so the phone line opens.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do a secret roll.
Whether to kill me or not.
I mean, I can tell you it's really a roll whether to determine if she's gonna be lenient or if she's gonna say, well, too fucking bad, go do our quest.
All good.
Oh, oh god, the rolls are killing me.
Oh no, literally.
Okay,
Where's Gwen standing?
She's probably staring at the branches and roots of Yggdrasil, looking for Mimir.
Just checked out of this whole thing.
Yeah,
Why is Gudrun the only one
a
standing
lot
by
of
your
the
side? This is wild.
I know.
A lot of the gods were there, so she
I think,
Yeah.
I mean,
Where's
technically,
mine?
if Gudrun was saddled up next to Astrid, you'd probably have a tinier, maybe less crazier old man next to your other side. With, why did I forget his name? Ezekiel right next to you.
Yep.
Oh, is Ezekiel still there?
Ezekiel's still
It's
here.
true.
He was in the Bifrost.
So it's just Astrid and a couple of old people, you know.
Yeah. So
Astrid in the company of revered elders.
so
How did that feel to say?
Ah.
I'm glad
Right.
that I rolled this because it just lets me fuel Astrid's hatred even further.
Oh no.
Firstly, I got a 35.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yes. All right. Mm-hmm.
And the result of a 35, like I said, fueling Astrid's hatred even further,
Mm-hmm.
is essentially a Odin will have no sway unless I say so. Either you do this and find yourself worthy to the rest of us, or Odin is down as champions and the Bifrost won't take you back. And then she turns and walks maybe a tad bit sassier behind the roots to disappear.
Astrid just goes, bitch.
Gudrun kind of like solemnly nods and pats you on the shoulder.
What the? What? How much are we gonna have to do? Astrid has just spun to look at the rest of the party. We've saved the world once, and that apparently wasn't good enough.
Gudrun kind of looks at you with like this I've been through this like multiple times kind of stare at mixed with like a "Aw, you're so cute," kind of
Mhm.
stare, and just, smile, nod, pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, believe it or
Sweet
not,
summer child.
Gudrun saved the first Ragnarok. This is second Ragnarok.
Gwen kind of snaps out of her stare and turns around and says, I don't know. I mean, this could be something like initiation, maybe.
Initiation for what?
I don't know, but I'd love to be a Valkyrie. I think that defeating a Valkyrie and doing all of this could possibly win me my wings.
I would love to be a Valkyrie after I die.
Well, yes, but you need to prove yourself.
I,
And maybe that's what we're doing.
again, cannot imagine how we haven't proven ourselves already. This is infuriating.
The level of the gods is something we've never been able to understand, and all of your stories say that. So maybe there's more to this.
A lot of my stories talk about them in exactly the same way as they talk about humans. They're petty. They fight. They don't pay attention. They lie to each other. They squabble.
I think you just named 5 reasons why the bar keeps changing.
Ezekiel is gonna. You see him sit down and take out a pot, and he's gonna go. Well, maybe we can understand it over a nice bowl of soup. And he's gonna start making soup.
Gwen will walk to Astrid and put both hands on her shoulders and just kind of lean forward and like rest her forehead against her friend's and say very softly, I know you're stressed. I feel your pain. I understand your struggle. Whatever this is, we will get through it. We're together. I promise.
I don't want to get through it. I want to be done. I want to go home. I want to see how my father's doing. I want to see how the land is recovering. I want to just go ride a horse across the snow. I want to maybe find somebody to marry. I want to be here.
Well, I don't really know where this is all going to take us. I do believe that when we get back, we can ask for our favor to be returned to Midgard.
Oh, I think we should ask for something loftier than just a return. Because this is insane.
I trust you. If you can make a contract with a god to get exactly what you want in your request from Odin, and you will have my utmost support.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm
Don't be
sorry.
sorry. You are allowed to be stressed, and I am here to talk you through it, to hold you, and let you know that everything will be fine. And if you need to cry, I am your shoulder. If you need to laugh, I will help you laugh. I will try. No promises on that one. I will try. And I will always support you. And she kind of gives you just the tiniest little head bonk, kind of like what a cat does when they like you. It was like bonk.
Oh.
That's what Gwen does.
I feel like I have to do this. Interrupting the moment, you just hear. So how about that soup? And he holds up. He holds up a ladle.
No, that's on brand.
Mhm.
Astrid breaks down and just for a second, just kind of one or two sobs, and then hugs Gwen and says, "You've always had my back, and I don't thank you enough for that."
No thanks needed. We're best friends. We're sisters, and I love you. And she will like squeeze her really tight back, and then whisper, "We better go get some soup, or else it's gonna be a shouting match."
How? Okay, interesting question. Astrid, Gwyn, the entire time you guys are talking, how close would you say are you to the branches of Yggdrasil?
I think we're right next to it. We're very close because that's what Gwen's been
Mhm.
studying, right? You were right up on it.
Yeah, I was right up on it, but I
And I
wouldn't
wouldn't have
moved to
been,
you, and I
yeah,
think you were starting to me, so
yeah,
probably fairly close, but not like right next to it.
yeah, I'd agree. Like at least within 10 feet, maybe closer, a little bit closer.
Okay. Can both of you roll me a? I'm gonna give you two options. You can either roll me a perception or you can roll me a D100.
I'll take the D100.
All right.
Damn it!
Well, you don't know.
Unless I wanted low, unless this is Call of Cthulhu.
Low could be good. As you two, forehead to forehead at the branches of a section of the world tree. Both of you almost have an like otherworldly, well, even more so than being on a different realm than Midgard, um, experience, as if your vision is ripped from your bodies. You can see your bodies standing there as you are kind of moved through the clouds. Gwyn, your vision is very foggy. You can at most tell that you are seeing Midgard. You are seeing a city being rebuilt. You cannot tell what city. That is mostly what you get. You are, hovering. Your view is hovering in the air above this city as it's rebuilding itself. Astrid, you have that same vision, like a connected vision, except there is less fog, and you go further into the city. Your vision takes you winding through the roads as you see people rebuilding. Your vision takes you past dismantled barricades and what looks to be children not as scared to be in the streets anymore. It takes you past a large stone square in the center of the city, brought to ruin and shattered. And eventually it takes you into a longhouse where you see a table. Lots of people at the table. You see a familiar red-haired girl sitting at one of the seats. The familiar sight being the girl you saved from the Rune Thief's final ritual. You look around, you see other warriors, you see family. At the head of everything, you see your father sitting in his royal chair with a drink in his hand, an empty seat next to him. He seems a mixture of happy that the day is won, but there is a sense of sadness to him, or just down. And the last thing you see before both of your visions are pulled back into your bodies is your point of view turns around, and at the long table there is a chair amongst your siblings. It is empty, but there is still a drink and a full plate directly in front of it.
Hmm.
And no one seems to be touching it. And then your vision pulls away, and both of you are forehead to forehead at the base of the tree again.
I think Astrid staggers just a little bit, not just from that shift from sort of, the swirling vision to standing on solid ground, essentially, but just that sense of getting at least a brief view of what she wants. But then the empty chair by her father and her father's face and the empty chair with her, amongst her siblings really hits her heart.
And just one extra detail that both of you would have noticed. On the edges of this vision, you would have noticed branching roots, as if the tree itself was connecting you to Midgard with its close proximity. And then because I'm an asshole, you probably hear another soup. Anyone soup?
Gudrun's been sitting and having a bowl of soup this entire time and just is like, you're distracting the soup! People
Perhaps
come to
not
get soup when they need soup.
perhaps not a bowl of soup right now, but have you been here before, Ezekiel?
I'm gonna say he gives you a story of, oh yeah, I've been here. I've I've had a fling here once or twice.
That
And
actually brings up the exact question that I had of, wait, do I have an ex from this world that I've forgotten about?
If you want to roll me an insight, Tobias, you can roll that to see if he's bullshitting you or not.
Can I roll insight as well?
Sure. Yeah, no, this is probably just an Ezekiel story.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to need to find a guide. No point in meandering.
You'd think we could have gotten one of those at least.
Well, we could have asked for directions from the gods, but stress has gotten the better of us. I'm going to walk around, and I'll see what I can find.
Roll me a perception, Tobias.
All right, perception.
Is it the 13 or 24?
I forget why, but I think I have advantage on perception. Hold on. We'll go with the 13, but if I find out why it's rolling advantage, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I'm Heimdall's thing, and I think his blessing gives me advantage, so it's
Okay.
the higher one.
With a 24, it doesn't take you walking around too long. You do spy, like, there are a bunch of elves about this place. They're walking around doing their thing. There's a lot of them. They look a lot more approachable than the elves you found in Nidavellir. They seem to be dressed in fine clothing and almost have this like glowing aura to them. But no, like breaking from your party and walking around a bit, there's a whole host of elven people around.
Do they see me, or are they just like passing by me and ignoring me? I don't imagine a human is like commonplace here.
They, with a 24, you would definitely notice that a good chunk of them, every time, maybe one or two pass by, they do make notice of you. But they make notice of you and then maybe speed up their steps a bit more.
Mm. Um, I turn around back to the rest of the party and ask them, aside from the fact that there are 5 houses that seem to be at each other's throats, or at least at one of their throats, uh, what have you heard about the peoples of this place? Do they only speak Elvish? Do they fear outsiders?
Can I think about all the sagas and see if there are some details there that would be helpful, like with a history check?
Yeah.
May I also roll a history check?
Sure.
I would be
Okay.
able to give guidance to one, but I didn't expect both of you to roll history.
The combined effort of the two of you in this moment, breaking from the vision, they likely, just by nature, probably only speak Elven. And it's not, you would know that it's not that they would be afraid of the group of you. It's more that you're humans, you're Midgardians, and you are not of this realm. They are less likely to deal with you because of that. But you can always try.
Um,
Basically,
would
racism. You're
either
not an elf. They don't care for you.
Right. Mhm.
sure,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean I've come to expect as much, but do the elves worship a different pantheon than we do on Midgard?
I'll say if you ask that with their combined history checks, not likely. Freyr's palace is here in Alfheim. You can assume they probably look up to him, if anything.
Okay. Uh, hmm. Can I? I'm gonna look up my piety thing and see what Freyr's thing is really quick. So I'm gonna tune out for just a second.
While he's looking that up, I have a question. Is there anything within the collective history that Astrid and Gwen rolled about twin brothers fighting, and one being a victor and one being a loser?
Mm. Good question.
I would say that maybe history would tell of the falling out. Um, You wouldn't know names, but you would have heard stories, and I will tell you at most you know that it's actually the twins are a brother and a sister.
Okay.
I mean, I'm no historian or soothsayer, but that sounds like Freyr and Freya. Would either the historian or the poet care to correct me on that?
Well, you know, siblings fighting and twins fighting is kind of a trope in a lot of stories. There's, all kinds of, I mean, if you think about Thor and Loki, right? Siblings. Um, but we're supposed to be finding the elves in these groups, right? Not,
Mhm.
we're not discovering the gods. We're supposed to be helping these elves.
Well, yes, but at least from what our sweet goddess has told us, it seems to originate from twins fighting.
Mm-hmm.
One doesn't know. I, we've run into a couple gods in Helheim, and we've run into your uh, benefactor Ezekiel in the name escapes me. That other one.
Same.
Uh, yes, that. Thank you, Gwen. Um, I would just be remiss to say that I don't expect the gods to be tangled up in every realm in one way or another.
Mm. Well, that's a good perspective. Because that if all we're doing is looking for arguments within the elves, we might have been missing something important in terms of cause. So I think it's a good thing to keep in mind, other than what I was already thinking.
Right. Um, all right. Well, I don't speak Elvish, but fortunately, we all know someone who does. And from now on, I'll be granting you guidance with prayers to Frigg, goddess of community, in the hopes that this mission goes off without a hitch.
That's extremely useful.
Wait, you want me to be the face?
We don't have any other options unless
I
you
speak
have.
Elvish.
Oh, thank God! And you just see like just the wave of relief
I
Wait,
across
how
Gwen's
did we
face.
not? Oh wait, were you?
I
No, you
don't
weren't.
know.
Oh, okay, okay. It's because out of character, we got into that jail cell. We did all the elf talking through Gwen, and then when you joined in, we were already breaking out.
Oh,
Right. Okay,
that makes
so
perfect sense.
okay, so
Hmm.
back in character, uh, we have a good face with Astrid and a fallback with Gwen. I will give Astrid all the guidance that she needs.
Well, okay. Well, let's talk for a minute about strategy, I guess.
Based off of what we were told, the people that is kind of the general problem right now is the House of the Root, the
Hmm.
happy poetry loving, drinking and fighting to stay warm um group that doesn't seem to be in agreement with the rest of the other groups. So I guess that kind of maybe trying to find the leader of that group and inquiring as to why they don't get along.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if the solution is to help figure out what's going on with the twins, that that house will probably at least be able to give us some direction of where these twins are.
Well, and it does seem too like if they're the ones who have their noses out of joint and we approach them first, that will look like we're giving them some status or priority.
It also agreed, and it also looks better if we go to the others and say a compromise can be reached because we've spoken to the House of the Root and they want the compromise of blank, blank, and blank.
Yeah.
So if we come as kind of ambassadors for the group that's having the quarrel, I think that's better than coming as ambassadors of four houses that may end up wanting, more than what is being able to be given.
Well, and getting four houses to agree together what they want is going to be much harder than having all the houses looking towards the one that isn't, so it's like all four are dealing with just that one instead of all four and then trying to deal with the one, if that makes sense. I didn't say it
Exactly.
very well.
No, I understood.
Here's another question that I think is fairly important. Do we tell any of them that we are doing this at the behest of the gods? Or the goddesses, pardon me.
Well, if you were on a diplomatic mission and you came representing the best tidings of their god, Freya, do you think that would come across as a good omen, or would it hurt our cause?
That might be something we will have to suss out to see what the current relationship is. If I'm not the only one who's ever gotten mad at the gods, you know. So if they're like really happy and in good standing with a particular god, then I say we could say it. If they're feeling a little bristly, maybe not.
All right, that's reasonable enough.
Okay.
I suppose first things first, we are surrounded by elves. Why not test the waters here?
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
I think Gwen would turn to Gudrun and just out of sheer maybe ask, do you know by chance, Gudrun, uh, who the leader of the House of the Root is?
Yeah, totally. Can I make a Hail Mary roll to see if I know who the leader of the House of the Root is?
It's your second ex-boyfriend.
You. All right,
That's
I can give you two options.
uh-huh.
You can do a Hail Mary roll, or you can Gudrun it.
Mm. Okay. I mean, sure. No, D&D 100. Do 100.
If you well, I'll tell you what Gudruning it is, if you want to Gudrun it, but I need you to lock in Gudrun it.
I mean, I think I got a Gudrun, right? That's the answer.
Okay. If you're gonna Gudrun it, roll me two D100s.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh shit.
oh,
Okay.
Okay.
what does it mean?
I'm gonna whisper you something.
Whispers,
What does
whispers,
it
secrets,
mean?
secrets.
This whisper sponsored by
58 indicates that you had a fling with one of the guards to the palace.
No, that would be
13 means it
9.
ended badly.
I sent it on Discord.
I see.
Feel free to share as much or as little as you like.
Okay, so Gudrun's gonna think about it and you can definitely tell that she's remembering something. And she knows a little bit more than she's letting on, as she kind of like mumbles in an old lady way of like I don't maybe we knew each other at one point, and maybe we met back in college. I don't remember. Their
Good,
name was started with a B. I think it
good.
was like Bobby or.
Tobias is gonna pat her on the back and ask her, in what direction would it make you the most comfortable to go right now?
Oh, oh no.
Yeah, Gudrun, you have no clue.
Gudrun trots off to the Bifrost.
Yeah, I was like, Gudrun's like, not here is the answer. And can I just point in a random direction by rolling a random direction?
Sure, roll 1d4. Alright, so the way you guys walked out of when the Bifrost let you here, she points in that direction.
uh,
That
Perfect.
checks out.
all right, I suppose that makes sense.
That checks out. Okay. All right. I'm going in. Whew. All right. I will stop. I will, kind of get in front of the nearest elf that is walking by and give a bow and say, I beg your pardon. If I could ask you a question briefly?
Give me a opening persuasion to convince them to stop.
Okay.
Plus 1d4.
Thank you. Oh my god.
Oh my fuck.
Wow. Good
Okay,
beginning, guys.
well, so now here's the... I feel like I might have set a precedent in earlier sessions about skill rolls getting a natural 1. Because technically that's not a failure. It's just a 13.
Okay. All right, so you can still roll the d4 and maybe it'll be
Okay.
decent.
Let's see how that goes. 17.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll a flat. Actually, let me see what their bonus would be. Okay, I'm gonna roll a d20 plus 5.
That sounds like it's a charisma score.
And I'm gonna call this the outcome. The net 1 is not an auto fail. Me rolling is the outcome because it's a net 1. Because I don't remember if I said these auto fail in the past or not. I don't think I did, but who knows?
I thought it was a fail, but I'll take it.
So you do roll higher, so they would
Mhm.
stop and like return any courtesies back and
Mhm.
see what you have to say.
Mhm. I was wondering to which esteemed house you belong.
Okay. You would be able to see on their clothing, and they would tell you, they belong to the House of the Leaf. You see the golden leaf on the white field of their clothing.
Wonderful. And I know it's presumptuous, but I've heard that the House of Leaf loves music.
Oh,
Is
yes,
that
yes, we do.
do you ever allow singers or poets other than yourselves? Are you interested sometimes in stories from other places?
It is very rare, but we have the once on occasion traveler to tell tales and sing songs of the other realms.
That's wonderful. How magnanimous. If I were to want to maybe go to the House of the Leaf and request being able to perform,
I'll be
where would I
right there.
go? Where would I go? Who would I talk to?
Let's see. You would have to talk to our leader, Dane. Only they
And in
can invite you to the stage.
and where is the doubtlessly magnificent House of Dame located?
Roll me another persuasion.
Okay.
They will tell you that they will point in a direction. If you guys are like here, um, they'll point to like in like this direction, and you'll see a pretty big housing within the collective. They will point there and say, um, "I'm more than willing to escort you there and bring you there myself. I just have some tasks I need finishing. If you do not mind waiting."
That is a magnificent offer. I hope that I can prove myself worthy of that kind of time on your part. My companions, I would be very grateful. We actually have a few errands ourselves, so perhaps we can meet back here in a while.
Yes, I would recommend doing so. As foreigners, the word of an elf will go long ways with our leader.
Hmm,
And you seem
of
like
course.
a kind folk.
And might I have the honor of your name?
Oh, you asked for a name, now the DM panics.
Hey, listen, I gave you a lot of time here.
Yeah, well, you think I'm Googling names when I have to look through my PDF?
Come on now, you
Fantasy
could have had
Steve.
names. You could have had Fantasy Steve ready to go.
Fantasy Steve
Okay,
is
I'm
right
gonna
there.
say their name is. There we go, I got one. Isilnor.
Isilnor.
Not exactly Isildur, but close.
All right. How much time? How much time uh should we leave you for your errands?
If it was, let's say, if it was 12 o'clock right
Mhm.
now, they would ask to meet back up at like 3 o'clock.
Okay. I will bow deeply again and say, I am Astrid. These are my companions, and introduce the companions, and say thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing you again at 3 Fantasy 3
Mm-hmm.
p.m. And then
They,
we will let Isilnor walk off.
yep.
While Astrid is exploring her route, I would like to see if I can spot anybody from the House of the Staff.
Okay, give me a perception.
Sure. 13?
13. I mean, maybe you're looking for a while. Like, you're looking during that entire conversation. so maybe a little bit goes by, but I'll say you do spy at least what you can make out to be the symbol of House of the Staff walking a ways through. Like, if these are all villages, you're not too far from any of them. Walking through some of the streets of one of the villages, like over here. And they're very, like, open villages. There aren't roads. It's just house on grass, house on grass, house on grass,
Okay. I will pull out my spell book and let Tobias know that I'm going to go see if I can collect some information for us, and I will scurry to the person or people that I saw with the sigil of the House of the Staff.
Okay.
He shouts guidance to me from a distance. I will approach them from the front and offer a polite bow to them, and in Elvish, I will say, fellow scholars, may I trouble you for a couple moments of your time?
So this is happening at the same time as the conversation with Astrid, or is
Yep.
dying down or whatever, and Tobias was staying with Astrid for the guidance. Is Tobias walking with you? Because if Tobias isn't walking with you, he can't give you guidance because it's a touch.
Gundren
I
could
did
follow you
use
with
Oh.
I did use guidance at the beginning of the conversation, so it's possible that Tobias would see that I seem to be doing okay.
Gundren also has guidance, so could just separate if we're worried about having guidance everywhere.
Hey, we have 2 guidance batteries.
Okay.
That's kind of nice.
So Gudrun's going with Ash or Gwyn, as Ezekiel just says, "Oh, more soup for me."
Ezekiel probably also has guidance.
Yeah, but he's
Probably.
enjoying his soup.
Oh no, I wouldn't tear him away from his soup. That's just rude.
So roll me a persuasion, Gwyn, with guidance.
Can I make an argument for a scholarly role?
A scholarly persuasion?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Trunk that are the scholars?
No, it was the staff.
No.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I meant trunk. I meant to go talk to those people. I was mixing up which one I was looking at. I meant to find House of the Trunk. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well. I can be nice and I can say you just take it back and you find one, or I can be mean and say roll me another perception. Am I feeling spicy today or not? I'm gonna leave it to a D100 to decide. You want lower is nice pie. You want lower.
Okay.
Okay. Your perception will have instead found a trunk. I am still gonna have to ask for a persuasion because it's to get them to actually stop and talk to you because you're a foreigner.
Okay.
You got this.
I don't got this.
Well, try better next time.
Yeah, no, you go, hey, can I pause you for some time? And they don't even acknowledge.
It's like when you walk straight by that person who's like, "Hey, do you have a minute to sign this petition?" And they just, everyone just ignores you.
Mm-hmm. They put their hand up like, no, I'm not interested in buying anything, and then walk away.
I don't know.
Do you have a familiar?
I haven't taken the familiar out in a long time, so I don't think I can use that. What I will say a little loud enough and kind of say it in a bit of an exasperated sigh that I guess learning magic from Midgard is not important to some scholars, and I will start walking away to see if I can grab their attention with that statement.
I'm going to. I think I'm gonna have to ask for another persuasion, but at disadvantage, honestly.
Okay. That rolled 3 dice on my end. That was weird. 8. Higher than my other one.
An 8, I still think isn't gonna be enough. You say that, and they they just don't seem interested.
Okay, well, I tried. I go back to the group.
You jokingly, this is a joke. This isn't actually said. They turn around and go, "I'm not interested in what you're selling me, lady."
So much for them being shy and reserved.
Yeah. No, but they don't. They don't actually say that.
That's fine. I return to the group.
Okay, this time I am gonna actually look for the emblem of the root.
Okay. I mean, these are all going to be perceptions to actually find who's who.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I try to keep my eye out for roots as well?
Sure. Roll me perception. Yeah. Okay.
I miss my expertise in perception.
I'll say you can see like a grouping of them all like huddled close together. Not too far away.
Okay.
You have to walk a bit, but you do see. I'll say maybe like 3 of them.
After like patting Gwyn on the shoulder for guidance as they were looking for someone, Gudrun's just gonna like flat out wander and make her way over to those people.
Me too. I think as I come up to them, I'm going to wait for like a break in their conversation so I'm not just talking over them.
Mm-hmm.
And then sort of clear my throat and bow when they look and quote some kind of poetry that praised this group of elves as a whole.
Okay.
Because they are the poetry people.
Roll me. Yeah, roll me a persuasion to get them to actually listen.
Okay. Do I have guidance from anybody?
Oh, I mean, if I wander close enough, I'll give you guidance.
I mean, I'm traveling as the the guidance box on this half of the group,
Okay.
so I'll give you the guidance.
All right.
Well, I don't. It's not. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you that much.
Still, I'm doing it anyway.
Style
You get their attention, and they at least if not directly applaud, they seem happy with what
Mhm.
you're saying in the poetry.
Then I will bow again and say, do I have the honor of addressing members of the resplendent House of the Root?
What you can see to be maybe a taller figure than the others, like the lead male elf, says, "Yes, you do. What may we do for this curious band of other realmers?"
Well, 2 things, if I may be so bold. The first thing is we would like to have speech with your matriarch, if possible, and I know that that's asking a lot. The second thing is I am a bard of some renown from Midgard, which I know means very little up here, but I am trying to educate myself in as much of the poetry of everywhere that I go, and I have heard that the poetry of the House of the Root is particularly fine, and I was hoping to hear some of it.
Roll me a persuasion.
23 is my number.
And the first part of that was, basically take me to your leader, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. If possible, take me to your leader.
If you wouldn't mind.
It'd be swell. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We can bring you to our house. You can try to gain audience with Billinger, but to do so, she will ask you to undertake a test imposed by our house's etiquette, being a foreigner that you are.
Well, that seems more than fair. Are my companions allowed to come as well?
He looks at the group and says, "Is this everyone?" Looking at Astrid, Gudrun, and Tobias next to each other.
There's two more.
I'm helping.
forget
you
Mr.
pack
Sue.
up stuff. And then hurrying after the group.
Out of character, GM, do you want to leave Ezekiel in the center just making
Well,
soup?
I was gonna get to that because he was
Oh,
gonna
okay.
scream back, "Don't worry, I'm just gonna stay here and keep making soup."
Right. That may come into play. I don't know.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength.
Thanks, Pi.
Seems like with any of these names in Norse, if it sounds like it ends in ER, it actually just ends in R.
You just got to chop out some of the vowels here and there, and it's fine.
I'm gonna make a bet that this guy speaks 2 languages.
As Gwyn walks up, looks at the four of you and says, "This group is fine."
I bow again. You're most gracious.
I also bow.
Tobias nods his head. He's gonna try to establish early on that maybe the Midgard traditions are just slightly different.
Okay. He would ask you, "Do you want to go there now? Is that what you are here for?"
That would be wonderful if it's not too much of an imposition.
Okay. He turns and begins walking with his posse towards, let's say, like this section.
Okay.
Deeper in like the darker colored trees. You begin walking in that direction where you are brought to what could be similar to Astrid, your father's longhouse. It is a housing area to hold a good chunk of people. One thing you do notice is that there does seem to be kind of connected to the house on the side of it. Seems to be a small fenced-in, open arena that has several elves sparring and fighting with each other within it.
Okay.
I
Great.
don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm going to be in there in about 10 minutes.
Yes, fighting politely. That's what's going to happen. Be fighting a fighting etiquette test. Marcus of Queensberry rules. Okay, so we're following the posse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you follow the posse inside the building. Imagine an open hall with at the very far end, there are 2 staircases that go up, and possibly to a room, possibly to a throne. You cannot see that high. But they tell you to wait here, and they will go make your request to Billinger. And the head honcho of the posse does walk off towards the stairs as the other 2 kind of wait downstairs. If there's anything you guys do while you wait. There are a good chunk of elves in this room, this building, who all do look at you as you enter, and then get back to whatever they were doing.
I will say to the posse who is still here, this is a magnificent structure. It speaks well of you.
Indeed, we keep our house well put together.
Yes, that's easy to see.
I think Tobias will walk over to a window if there is one and see if he can see the sparring and see what style it is.
Sure. Give me an investigation. Or perception, actually.
Okay. Here we go. 23.
23. This is so funny. So you notice that they seem to be fighting mostly hand to hand. You do see the various elves are incorporating their own forms of their magic. And you do maybe take your eyes away a bit because you do indeed see that they are all fighting entirely naked.
Ah.
They have an even brighter, like, glowing essence to their bodies. There are men fighting men, women fighting women, men fighting women, women fighting men, and they are all naked.
Okay. I don't know how I knew it was going to be hand-to-hand combat. Before you said that, I know nothing about Alfheim in actual lore, but I wanted to ask, if I wrapped my hands, kind of like a boxer, would I be able to use my Blood Hunter dice on that?
I would say no.
No? Okay. What would be the bare minimum? What, like brass knuckles?
If it was an actual, physical weapon and not just your fists.
Oh, okay. So,
Like, I wouldn't let you smite with a fist. I'm not going to give you Blood Hunter dice on your fist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking of, like, doing a thick hand wrap.
Yeah, no, that would still just be a melee punch.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Tobias will make it clear that to the 2 elves watching him and who don't understand a single thing he's saying, that, like, this is interesting. And he'll beckon the others over to show him like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
I will translate for you if you want to say anything about this.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great.
Astrid says to Tobias.
Can you tell me more about this combat sport that you seem to be displaying here?
Translate.
Yeah. They will tell you what is essentially, fighting is the spirit of our house, but also it can be, like, they'll point out, a man and a woman elf fighting each other. and they'll tell you that the man is, well, other than a what's the word, like a essentially cuddle pile, fighting to stay warm. They also point out that specific man and woman, the man is trying to win the favor of the woman by beating her in a fight.
Nice.
It's a courtship, aw.
I love it.
And it's not always courtship, fighting each other. They'll say fighting each other is just part of our house, but that's part of it.
Do you also settle disputes this way?
As they go to answer, you see stepping at the railing of the stairs is a greater looking elf, a female, who calls out to your group. I was told that there are a group of foreigners who wish to speak with me. And she looks down at the foreigners and issues a simple challenge. She says, if you wish to converse with me, you will accept the challenge of fighting against my own elves. No weapons, entirely naked, as our house demands it.
It would be our honor. And whatever the form of address for a leader would be in this, I think Astrid would probably know it.
Tobias
the
starts
poem.
to strip before it's even translated. He just starts getting naked.
Looking out onto the field, you said that there was magic being used. Do I recognize any of the magic that's being used?
Give me an Arcana,
Sure.
and we'll let that be the final roll of the session.
Okay.
24.
You recognize some
Nice.
spells. Two in particular. You recognize one elf, we'll say an elven woman, casting the darkness spell on another woman to trip her up and get a kick in. And then you also notice certain lights moving their way over the various bodies of people that you can recognize as an advantage spell to get one over in a fight, being fairy fire.
Mm.
And
Okay.
as you recognize the spells, as Tobias strips without even being told to do so, because it wasn't translated, we will get ready for a challenge in session 44. As we call this a session of Journey to Ragnarok. And everyone say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Goodbye, YouTube. See you next time on the Journey to Ragnarok as the party get ready to fight in the nudie. As always, good pie and stay sweet, everyone.